Welcome, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar. We're going to talk about Microsoft 365, which used to be Office 365. In April of this year, Microsoft made a very significant change, renaming its entire 365 product family, or I shouldn't say entire. So the purpose of today is we're going to review exactly what changed, old names versus new names, what hasn't changed. What does this mean to those of us who use Microsoft 365 in terms of evaluating, because there are some things that are prudent to evaluate license options. And we're going to, as a separate item, take a look at some new features that are available in Outlook that might be worth consideration, just a small bit of training, and look at our increasing understanding of where Microsoft is headed in the future with Microsoft 365. So welcome, thank you for joining, and I want to say a special thanks to really the dozens of you who long-term clients. I recognize your names, I know your faces. Thank you for your partnership over this long period of time. For some of you, this is your first introduction to PBSI. So we're a technology services provider with hundreds of clients in healthcare, nonprofit, and business community. We've been serving the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana marketplace for over 30 years. And as CEO, I'm very blessed to be able to say that 75% of our staff have been with us for 10 years or more. In fact, the great majority of those for 15 years or more now. We've had no turnover within the last couple of years, no unwanted turnover within the last 5 years. All of that translates to really, really experienced staff. And specifically with Microsoft 365, we continue to do a ton of research about options and features and why one should be implemented and why one shouldn't, and how the setup should take place to maximize the benefit of some of these functions. So it's something we've learned a lot about. And today, as with every webinar we do, this information is free. We want to help folks understand whether you use us for services or not. Hope this information is helpful. So a little bit about us if you don't know. So here is what changed. On April 21st, with some advance notice, Microsoft changed Office 365 to Microsoft 365. This had been coming for some time, but what I'm going to do on this slide and in just a short period of time here is try and summarize exactly what has changed, what hasn't changed. So first of all, Microsoft continues to offer Exchange Online. This is $4 a month access to email. Same plan, same name, no changes. The former, so this is the old name column, Office 365 Business Essentials now is Microsoft 365 Business Basic. Same price, $5 a month. Business 365 Business, Office 365 Business is now called Microsoft 365 Apps. The former Office 365 Business Premium is now called Microsoft 365 Business Standard. This is the single most confusing thing they did, because they had a former Microsoft 365 product that now they've renamed Microsoft 365 Business Premium. So the one most significant confusion that many people will encounter is your old Business Premium plan, which was $12.50 a month, stays the same, still $12.50, same set of features, it just has a different name. And when you see Microsoft 365 Business Premium, it's $20 a month, and it includes a bundle of several things which are really useful. This is of all the recommendations that I might make to a PBSI client, is to reevaluate whether you want to move from one of the lower plans to the full Business Premium. So it's $20 a month, but I'm going to try and summarize, and I have a bit more information about this, what this total is really made up of. So that $20 for Business Premium includes the former Business Premium, $12.50 a month. I'll give a bit more detail about this, but this includes your applications and email. Then it also includes $2 a month ATP Advanced Threat Protection. So this is the single most important feature. It is optional for all other plans, but a really important product. So if you're a PBSI client and you're using Microsoft apps, you're almost certainly paying $14.50 a month at least because you're using this ATP. We recommend this to every client and everyone should have it. This is where if you click, any employee who has a business email address clicks on a link in an email or opens an attachment in an email, instead of acquiring ransomware or malware or any other bad thing that could happen, they simply get a message from Microsoft that says, oops, that's a bad website, you can't go there, and damage is prevented. So that's included for those who need to encrypt outgoing emails. So human resources, CEOs, CFOs, anybody who needs to send patient information, any protected information with this $2 a month add-on, you can add that to business standard. So I'm going down this list now. We've gotten to $14.50, $16.50 a month if you need those 3 features. Then there are additional options that are available to users of business standard. $3 a month is email archiving that permits, in fact, automatically achieves the storage of email forever. And this applies to litigation hold or e-discovery into email that may go back for as long as you've used, or for as long as you've had this feature turned on. But it also protects against intentional deletion. So an employee is about to leave, they delete all their email history, this email archiving retains it. So there's some shorter term retention anyway, but this is a long-term retention. So there's another security item where if you have sensitive information that is important to protect, you can build email sensitivity rules that warn if certain emails are about to leave the building with certain names in them or certain file types. Then for those of you who have an in-house server where you have Active Directory on your server, this $6 a month option provides the ability to have your Active Directory in the cloud. So you no longer have to have it on your in-house server. And for those who want to get rid of their in-house server, this is a useful option. Then there's some additional mobility, including iPhone and iPad and Android tracking and protection that are built in for those of you who have employees who use portable devices in the workplace. And then you add all those up, that's $39 a month. Microsoft sells this bundle for $20 a month. So that's the reason for going through this, is to simply say that they've bundled a lot of things, which for some of you, you'll say, well, I don't care about that, and I don't care about that, but in total, it's a value. So I'm not trying to suggest anyone make that move. I'm only trying to clarify, here are the choices. So summarizing, Exchange Online remains unchanged. It's still $4 a month, same name. And if you use that online with advanced threat protection, click protection, add $2, that's $6 a month. If you use click protection plus encryption, the ability to encrypt outgoing emails, then you add $2 a month, now you're at $8 a month. So that's a choice if you just want email and your Microsoft Office apps are used by the purchased apps you've made. So as there may be some of you who do not know this, but the entire concept of Microsoft 365 is a monthly subscription to Microsoft products and applications instead of purchasing Microsoft Office. So, or instead of paying an outside email provider for the storage and securing of your email. So Exchange Online is a valuable and continual option for those who purchase your Microsoft Office, and you're going to either spend $6 a month or $8 a month. For those who use Enterprise, this is different. Enterprise plans have been used generally in larger organizations. Most of you listening to me don't have enterprise plans, although some do. And this can be because your current IT, not finding fault, may not understand that there are better options. For most organizations, there are better options than enterprise plans. Enterprise plans, however, the names have not changed. There's Office 365, it remains named Office 365 E1, E3, and E5. Those are priced at $8, $20, and 35 cents, or $35 a month. And for me, everyone using these enterprise application should consider moving to a Microsoft 365 plan, because this $8 a month option for E1 is essentially the same feature set as the $5 a month Business Basic. And this $20 a month E3, you can move to $20 a month Business Premium, adding several features and losing just very, very little. So it's if you're using E3 and paying $20 a month, you really should consider changing. No extra cost. For example, you don't get advanced threat protection in E3. It is included in Business Premium for the same price. And in our experience, there are very few people who really need E5. I've encountered all kinds of reasoning in talking to folks who are not PBSI clients as to why they might have originally chosen an E5 license. And most of the reasons just aren't important. Most organizations, you just don't need this. So we're happy to help anyone evaluate your plans for free, just to know if you should make changes. Then, so you know, there are additional enterprise plans. I'm only providing this for clarity. For most of you, this is not really important, but Microsoft has a Microsoft 365 enterprise plan. So sorry for the confusion, not created by me, but my opinion, by Microsoft. They have Office 365 enterprise plans and Microsoft 365 enterprise plans. There's a new F3 option for first-line workers. So if you're a first-line healthcare worker or a retail worker, there's reduced pricing going on here, F3. Then E3 and E5, these are both more expensive subscriptions, and in each case, I would say it's prudent to evaluate whether you should be using $20 a month Business Premium, because there's just very little in these E3 and E5 applications that are important. Okay, so moving on. Nonprofits, very important here. Microsoft has continued to evolve their nonprofit licensing scheme. And if you're a nonprofit, you have to qualify, but most nonprofits will qualify to use TechSoup, TechSoup.com, TechSoup.com. You can sign up through TechSoup, and if you're a nonprofit with fewer than 300 email addresses, you get your first 10 licenses for free. That's a $20 a month product. You get 10 of them for free, and then all the others up through 300 or $5 a month. So instead of $20 a month each, 10 are free, the others are $5 a month. Absolutely the clear recommendation, because it includes the click protection, Office apps, email, and some security things. It's a good thing that Microsoft and TechSoup have done together. So those you license directly through TechSoup. All the other Microsoft licenses can be done through PBSI or another provider. You pay exactly, we charge exact Microsoft prices. We don't mark them up at all. So then for other nonprofits, where after you've gotten your first 10 licenses free for your other licenses, you could consider this $3 a month email and apps, but frankly, it doesn't include the click protection. I'm mentioning it because it's available, but I think for nonprofits, Business Premium is your choice. Okay, so summarizing, Exchange Online is available for $6 a month with click protection. Business Standard, which is your Office apps, email, and click protection, $14.50. Legitimate choice, legitimate choice, legitimate choice. Business Premium, $20 a month, includes these two, so there they are, includes encryption, includes all the other features that are worth $26.50 separately for $3.50 a month. So it's, if you don't need any of these other features, then don't waste your money, spend $14.50 a month. And then finally for nonprofits, either free or $5 a month. So those are the choices that I think make sense for most users. And just remember that Business Premium, Microsoft 365 Business Premium, is different than Office 365 Business Premium. Office 365 Business Premium is now called Business Standard, and Business Premium now includes more stuff for a bundled price. Okay. Hopefully that helps. I'm now going to move and do a short demonstration of some features in Outlook. To me, I see all the time that clients, really any organization, you purchase a product, whether it's Microsoft 365 or any other technology product you might think about, and it's just frequently underutilized. So we have this useful stuff, but how do we set it up? How do we use it? So I'm going to cover some things that Microsoft's done in the last really few months. These aren't all brand new, but they're just really important. We're going to look at how click protection works. That's the ATP, $2 a month. We're going to look at how outgoing email encryption works. We're going to look at the options for focused inbox, inbox spacing, speaking and listening to your email, and then options for finding previous email. There are these are simple things. And then we'll look at some, spam management. So I'm going to go and just do short demonstrations for these. So I'm now in my own inbox, and I'm going to come down here to a subfolder I keep for security. And in fact, I have a subfolder there for things I want to demonstrate. So the idea of your inbox and setting up subfolders, that's one thing in and of itself. So my subfolders, I have things I want to keep and review underneath that, and I can open and close these subfolders with a click. And so right now, I'm in a certain subfolder, and this is my email history. So I'm going to demonstrate how ATP, Advanced Threat Protection, works. So if you've seen other PBSI webinars, you may have seen this before, but I'm now going to click on a bad link. So this link was sent to me some time ago. I don't want to continue to try new things because I stay away from risk when it comes to clicking on things. But here's a link in an email that was received by PBSI, and it was bad. So I'm now going to click this button, and I'll tell you exactly when I do, because when I do, what happens is Microsoft, because we're paying at PBSI for our own email, this $2 a month ATP click protection, when I click this, Microsoft sends every click out through what they call a sandbox in the cloud. There's a prefix of safe links at the front of everything you click, and Microsoft is fully exploding or testing what's going to happen. And instead of relying on a signature that this link has been proven to be bad, instead they're actually executing the behavior that takes place. And if something bad happens, then instead of it happening to me, they simply send me a message. So I'm going to click that right now. And Microsoft sends this out. So you see the safe links in my URL that was added by Microsoft. And if this had been an OK click, it simply would have delivered me to whatever site I was trying to reach. But in this case, Microsoft says, website is malicious, stop right here. Interestingly, Microsoft actually offers the option to have a click here that says proceed anyway. To me, that's just stupid. And we don't offer it for clients. But you might find that your email, if you've had ATP set up by a different vendor, you might find that this is a warning, but employees can ignore warnings and may or will. So that's the very simple ATP. Same thing happens with an attachment. So while I'm here in these bad examples, here's an email attachment. Here's a message. If the behavior being evaluated by that link takes more time, you'll get this interim message that says the link is being scanned, and then this message will automatically go away and be replaced with your website or whatever it was trying to get to, if it's okay, or it will be replaced by that red warning message. So that's click protection. So now I'm going to demonstrate outgoing email encryption. So this is the AIP feature, Advanced Information Protection, which while the ATP you want on all your email addresses, this feature I'm going to demonstrate you only need for whatever small handful of email addresses need to send protected information. That's any PII or PHI. That means a name associated with social security number, date of birth, diagnosis, CPT code, credit card numbers. So I'm going to send an email to my Gmail account. And let's say that this includes important information. I'm going to send my list of social security numbers for all of our employees. So here I'm going to send this. I'm going to make an attachment to this. And in order to send this encrypted, because I'm paying for the $2 a month AIP, Azure Information Protection, I simply say, options, encrypt, encrypt. I can make other choices, but encrypt only. When that message is sent now, the message recipient simply gets an email, and you've seen these coming into you where it says you have a message from Ray Cool and click here to open your email. And if you're a 365 user, you'll already have your password. If you're not the recipient, which might be your customer or your patient, the recipient will get an option to click for a one-time passcode, which never goes to spam. It's really well done. It always comes immediately, so the recipient can copy that, paste it into their email, and then they've created an encrypted tunnel. So what do I mean by an encrypted tunnel? With that feature, you can send an email with this encryption feature to someone on the outside and use it as a way for them to send you secure information. So if they need to send you tax information or a list with social security numbers, send them an encrypted email and say just attach whatever you want to this email because the outgoing email is encrypted and the return path is encrypted. So that path remains encrypted for that email in both directions. So we looked at security, we looked at outgoing email encryption. These are real simple choices, but very useful. So focused inbox and inbox spacing. Focused inbox is simply a toggle. So there's a view, and then there's an option called, oh, sorry, did that wrong. I'm here to demonstrate tighter spacing. So interestingly, a few months ago, I don't know exactly when, Microsoft sent out an update that automatically increased the spacing. So view tighter spacing, when I click this, it gives more spacing between emails. Click it again, reduces. So I like the tighter spacing because I want to have more on my screen. But that's a preference thing. But some people say, well, I don't know why, I don't like the way it works now, like it as well as it used to. So tighter spacing is the way to handle that. So then the tab, and you have to be in your inbox to use this, focused and other. I use this feature. So other is the list of things that aren't spam. I want these, but I don't want them to crowd my focused inbox. So I have a lot of emails that have just come in recently that haven't been read. And so I want to keep my inbox with things from customers and things that I'm really want to pay attention to. My other, what happens is when I get an email from the Cincinnati Bengals, okay, I subscribe, but generally what I do is delete, delete, delete. I really don't want to read these things. I don't care about any Facebook, Dell. So then sometimes I want to read this. I want to save it. So I'll keep things in my other inbox, but I can keep my focused. And the way you change this is simply there's a setting where you switch between focused and other, or I forget what the other choice is. I haven't done this for a while. So if you want to know how to do this, just ask us. But I like that other feature, and it's a setting where you turn it on. And then what happens is, if let's say this particular thing, I always want to delete it, which I'm ready to do this now. I'm going to say block sender, and that will never appear in any of my inboxes again. If emails from this source, I want to come to my regular inbox, I right click and I say always move to focused. And then it will move messages into my focused email, and then I can do the same thing if I get one of these. Here's a good one where this is a security company, I want to get their emails, but I want to always move to others. So once I do that, all future emails from that source will show up in my other. So it's very simple. It helps to manage. Okay, so that's focused inbox and inbox spacing. Then speaking your email and hearing your email, this is really quite straightforward. On my screen, I get a choice when I start a new email to, you have to have this, dictate. So if I dictate, I can click on this, and I'm not sure how my microphone is set, but let's say I want to send an email to myself and I want to dictate this. I start dictating, and my voice now, if this is microphone is set, yeah, I'm doing this from home, connected to the office, whatever. But if you have a microphone on the computer you're using, you click that button and start speaking to whatever microphone you're using, and it does a pretty good job of translating your voice to text. And in the same way, if you're reading an email, let's say for this email, if I want to listen to this, I can have it read aloud, and it will start reading the text of the email when I click on that. So some useful things that people just don't know about, so a little bit of training. Finding previous email, the thing I want to say here is that the default is I have this inbox and all my subfolders. If I want to look for something from, I'll just start some text, it will find it in all subfolders. So if I'm in a particular subfolder, like I go to any one of these and I search, it will only look in that folder and its subfolders. So if you want to look just in customer follow-up, then there won't be anything from Kaseya in my customer follow-up. So it'll search, it won't find anything. So if you start in your inbox, it will search all your email. You can change that setting, but that's a recommendation. So it's just a simple way to find email. Okay, managing spam. This is real fast. The process should look something like this. First, you may get emails that in the email from Microsoft, this is for a 365 mail user, you may get an email that says these have been attempted to be delivered. You want to look at each of those individually, but generally speaking, junk, focused, and spam reporting. So the process I go through is this. First of all, I check my junk email, and you do want to check it. So junk are the things that Microsoft decides through its spam filtering should all go to junk. And I've seen things coming from these sources, and I just quickly review them because there can be false positives. It occasionally, maybe twice a month, happens where somebody who I really want an email from shows up in my spam, and so I would right-click on that and say move it to the inbox. In this case, these are all junk, just exactly as Microsoft thought. So now I'm going to click here, and this is important. Rather than deleting those emails, I right-click on junk email and I say empty folder. What that does is those junk emails were permanently deleted without adding them to my deleted items. And so those of you who have deleted items that have very, very large numbers, you don't want to keep making your mailbox bigger by adding to deleted items. So the first thing, remove your junk. Then go to other. And here, you can use the shift key and whatever. If you want to remove all of these, I don't care about looking at those. Now I'll delete those because I don't want to permanently remove them. And so junk, other, and if you manage other well, you'll find very, very few things in your real email that are from other than from intended, desired customers or patients or whoever. So then there's one more new feature that I'll mention that you can help the world and you report junk by a new button that's here called Report Message. And if you click on Report Message, if you think something is junk, you can click on it. Now, if I click that, it's going to give me an option. Are you sure you want to report this as junk? And if I say report, it will both mark this permanently as junk for me and it'll report it to Microsoft. So I'm not going to do that in this case. If I do the same thing, this is a phishing email, same thing, I choose, and it says, are you sure you want to report that? And there are settings under report message where you can set this, that do you want to choose, this is, don't ask me for that second prompt or not. So features that you may wish. Occasionally, you may want to review the features that you see in your toolbar because those there are additions that take place and there's no big announcement to end users. Okay, hopefully that's of value to some folks about how to better use your Outlook. So summarizing, we're almost finished. For most folks, what I would do is look at, first of all, I wouldn't buy any more purchased Office. Microsoft 365 is the way to go. Now that's an opinion. There are alternate ways to look at that. I don't like subscription products. Most, financially oriented folks don't like subscription products. But in this case, Microsoft has really done a good job providing value. So you can buy a single license copy of Office 2019 for $250, or you can license it for $850 a month. But the differences are the purchased copy is frozen, feature frozen at that time. We'll never get updates. It'll get security fixes, but no features. A single license includes one app, so you buy one for your work PC and one for your home PC. With 365, you get you personally, not you and 4 neighbors, but you get 5 desktop app copies that you can install on your work PC, your home PC, your laptop, your Mac, your iPhone and iPad. Those are free anyway. And so there's real value, and especially those who use more than one computer. A single license includes no cloud storage, but cloud storage, OneDrive, and SharePoint are included with all of the 365 licenses. And anybody like, we can send this link. We accumulate a bunch of links to make it simple to review things that we've spent hours or tens of hours researching. And one more thing about this is that Microsoft has announced for some time now that they are making changes in the future where increasingly purchased copies of Office, they'll be available long-term. They won't stop offering them. But now, the latest version of Office is already a subset. It doesn't include all the 365 features, even on the day it's released. When Office 2019 was released, it was already behind feature-wise 365 that was available on that same day. There are a bunch of new security features, like some of the ones I just mentioned, that aren't available. You can't use ATP with purchased Office unless you have Exchange Online as well. Anyway, and there's more and more security things that Microsoft's doing to tighten the communications between desktops and email, and some of these are increasingly important. So then in the future, Microsoft has said that there will be increasing limitations for those using Outlook, that they won't have functionality available if you use the purchased Outlook as opposed to that comes with 365. So recommendation that is really believe applies for most of us. When you buy a new PC, don't buy Office with it. Instead, license 365. You can consider whether you move all your licenses to 365 as a separate issue, but don't buy new licenses. Okay, summary, evaluate your current licenses. We find a lot of folks who are paying for 365 that don't need to be paying for it. Former employees, these should all be free. Set them up as a shared mailbox. The mail is kept forever, but there's no fee for it. Or an alias account should all be free. That's info at, service at, webmaster at, etc. Accounts payable at. These are all free. And we find a lot of folks, when they come to PBSI, they're paying another vendor for their licenses, and they're paying for these. So it's a good idea for anyone to actively review your licenses periodically. We do this for clients automatically on a regular basis. And it's useful because you add employees leave, and all of a sudden you're paying for a license and the communication wasn't complete between you and PBSI or you and the vendor who's doing this for you, and you're wasting money. So we do these reviews free for clients and non-clients. For those of you not using ATP, I would strongly consider adding this $2 a month option to your current plan if it's not already included, because that click protection is really useful. For those who need encryption, consider the $2 a month. And for those who are using old business premium, consider the value of the features in the new business premium. That's it for today. I appreciate your time and attention. Hope this has been of value. We are happy to help anyone with review of their licenses or quoting what a new license would look like. And there's some other security products that we offer. We're finished today, and I appreciate your attendance.